Can you say your whole name, position, and
My name is John O'Connor, and I am the Director of African Operations at Input Output. So one of the challenges that NGOs face is how to incentivize good long-term actions. So if you go and you build a well in a village and you put there electric or a diesel pump, how do you make sure that someone's maintaining that pump after the NGO's left? Well, one of the things that blockchain is really good for is incentivization strategies. Somehow or another, with Bitcoin, you've got hundreds of thousands of people all the way across the world running a piece of software that verifies and looks at the network to make sure that transactions are authentic. So these kind of incentivization mechanisms are sort of a core strength of blockchain technologies and something that we're looking to apply into the impact space. There's a great expression that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. And this is really where we think the industry is going to go. As the industry matures, we expect blockchain and crypto to disappear from view and eventually just become the plumbing that's in your house. No one talks about the plumbing in their house, but you know when it's not there. So decentralization and lack of central ownership is never really a problem until it becomes a problem. In an ideal world, payment networks, which are owned by companies like Visa, well, they wouldn't be so expensive to use. So when we come up with this idea of trying to build a distributed and decentralized financial network, it's really just to stop the worst from happening. And the worst from happening is decentralized systems fail, that they're manipulated or shut down by central authorities. So for us, the concept of decentralization is really about building safeguards by creating a network that's cheap, fair, and easy for anyone to access. Africa is crucially important for blockchain and Cardano in general. Not only does it have one of the fastest growing populations as a continent, but it's also a continent where innovation and technology is common. Mobile money actually began in Kenya. M-Pesa, which was launched by Vodacom, by Safaricom, now accounts for 80% of all transactions in the Kenyan economy. This is 80% of all transactions happening in digital money. So when we talk about Africa and its place in blockchain, we expect the next set of innovations to really be fastest adopted within the African continent. So the Ethiopia deal with the Ministry of Education was to produce 5 million digital blockchain-based identities for the education system. The system would track educational performance for students and make it easier for the Ministry of Education to be able to allocate its resources across the country. The significance of this deal was that it was the first nation-state blockchain adoption deal really of its kind. 5 million users puts it squarely in one of the biggest deals done in the year. And this really gives us a lot of credibility to now go and start working with other governments and other stakeholders to be able to implement and deploy our technology more broadly across the world. RealFi is the concept that what we need to be doing is connecting up cryptocurrency liquidity to real-world economic value. So this is maybe unfair, but one characterization of DeFi is that people take their cryptocurrency collateral to borrow more cryptocurrency, which they invest to make more cryptocurrency, and you've got this sort of circular money-making tree, right, which people are participating in. Our idea with RealFi is to take some of the value and the liquidity available on networks like Cardano and to start making it easier for that value to be invested into loans and credit opportunities for real people in the real world. So in practical terms, RealFi means lower interest rates payable by borrowers and higher yields for the investors. Within the Kenyan example, an SME might pay up to 48% APR. A US holder of ADA would probably be quite excited with a 25% a year interest rate. So we have an opportunity here to connect up high-yielding loan opportunities in markets which have a deficit of capital and liquidity with markets which have large amounts of liquidity and people who are searching for yield. So really, RealFi is about trying to make the world a smaller place and connecting up capital opportunities with those people who have it. Typically, someone can only ever get a loan from a local capital provider, maybe a local cooperative, and this also means that they pay a higher rate of interest. So by enabling digital identity, we broaden the pot of capital which people can apply to, and ultimately reduce the interest rates which they may pay. Cardano is a blockchain system that seeks to provide economic identity for those people that don't have it. So what does this mean? Well, when we say that traditional banks have not been banking their rural populations, it's not because they don't want to, it's because it's too expensive for them to do so. Cardano seeks to innovate on this by providing cheaper financial rails and lightweight digital identities, which makes it economical for people to participate in a global financial system. I hope that Cardano will be involved in many different parts of someone's life. So when they do a mobile money transfer, when they do a remittance transaction, maybe even when they're going to vote in their local elections. So the end state for Cardano is the plumbing which drives every form of value transfer and interaction between one person and another person. What I love about the Cardano community is how mission-focused we are as a group. A lot of the other cryptocurrency communities can seem quite transactional, always just focused on the price and thinking about what their positions look like. People within the Cardano community understand that we're trying to build something bigger, and that makes it a much more pleasant place to be a part of. Going forward into 2022, this will be the first year that there will really be a community starting to build tools for Cardano and not just input-output. So yeah, it's really the first year where we can really talk seriously about an ecosystem. The more people who are participating in it, the more diverse opinions you have, and ultimately these diverse opinions lead to better debate and better outcomes. So a place where it's safe for people to, raise their thoughts and not be shut down. That's the kind of ecosystem which I'm hoping we can build. Within 10 years, I hope that Cardano's hit its billion users, that we're driving loans, financial value all across the world. I hope that mobile money systems are all running on Cardano rails. When it comes to the next 100 years, I really have no idea. So if I'm around that long, then I hope to see it. Goguen finally allows us to start building financial contracts. So an insurance contract, a derivative, a swap, a lending contract. None of these things were possible on Cardano until this moment. We have Plutus, our smart contract scripting language, and Marlow, which is more focused on financial contracts. Together, this means that not only can we port over large pieces of the Ethereum decentralized finance ecosystem, but also start innovating by ourselves within the ecosystem to start taking these concepts forward and shifting us from DeFi into the RealFi era. So one of the things which I'm very excited by is that working through a partner called Possession in Kenya, we're starting to lend from cryptocurrency balances directly into small and medium-sized enterprises in Kenya. This is one of the first pilots that we're doing in the RealFi space. So really connecting up cryptocurrency liquidity to real-world loan and lending opportunities. We hope to scale this from a small pilot run by input-output towards a pipeline of opportunities which ADA holders all across the world can participate in. I think the team at input-output is so amazing that even when you're working hard and trying to move forward on some problems which can feel intractable, the quality of the people around you is really what helps you to carry on slogging through. I think our work around governance and digital voting is probably some of the most important work that we're currently pursuing. These problems have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. Political theorists have been working on this across all parts of the world. What we're trying to do at input-output is to start to create the technology stack that enables people to create their own voting systems, be it in local communities or small organizations, rather than just on the nation-state level. So when it comes towards increasing the participation of communities within these sort of state superstructures, I truly believe our governance work is pretty revolutionary. We're hoping that within a couple of years, we'll have a blockchain voting solution, which we can start to test out for real-world elections. But in terms of what we're doing now, we've launched our Global Catalyst Fund. This is the world's largest decentralized fund, sitting at over $1 billion of value, which is distributed according to a voting system, which our community participates in. So we're already starting to work on this idea of, internet and distributed voting systems, and we hope to see that evolve and start to impact real-world elections in the coming years. IO is committed to working in Africa in a way that I think few other blockchain companies really are. I'm based in Ethiopia, which is where we head up our African operations, and we're looking to expand and open offices this year within Kenya and also South Africa. We're running a developer training course for people who want to learn Plutus in January and February in Ghana. We'll be training 70 students there on how to write our smart contracts, and that's really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes towards the investment and the commitment we're making across the continent.